everybody. Come on, let's welcome Mr. Kanye West today.
I know that God's been calling me for a long time, and the devil's been distracting me for a long time.
West arrived at the Houston church with wife Kim Kardashian and their daughter North. He then took the stage with Osteen, who Kanye calls a longtime friend. With his new album titled Jesus is King behind him, West said from now on, his music will be in service of God.
Overnight, Kanye West completing the second part of his Sunday service at Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church with this riveting performance. Earlier in the day, West uniting with the popular pastor to share faith and music.
Come on, let's welcome Mr. Kanye West today.
The famed pair welcomed more than 15,000 ticket holders as West spoke about his renewed journey towards Christianity.
All of that arrogance and confidence and cockiness that y'all seen me use before, God is now using for him.
His wife, reality star Kim Kardashian, watching from the audience. 42-year-old also addressing his reported mental health issues.
God was there with me and sending me visions and inspiring me.
Sing for the Lord, produce for the Lord every waking moment, everything we do, every single minute. We have a song that says every millisecond, every single millisecond be in service to God.
And it has some depth. It doesn't encourage me that Joel Osteen is involved in this, because this is a whole different thing. But as I listened to Kanye West's interview on Apple, introducing the album, I'm impressed with this man's intellect, the seriousness of his approach. I hope he gets the right people around him, because this goes right to the heart of what is wrong in our culture: the materialism, the over-sexualization of the culture, the disrespect for the dignity of human life. And this man seems fearless. I mean, it's not unprecedented that a person has a deep conversion and gets knocked off their horse, right, in Christianity.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking St. Paul the
Because I find that there's an arrogance when we think that we know what's in our best interest. There's an arrogance there, and God says that the arrogance is the thing that he considers evil. Because as I've looked at Scripture, you know what struck me one day? Of all the things that God hates, the thing he seems to hate the most is arrogance and pride. In fact, he says, if I'm prideful, he'll resist me. So you feel like you're pushing against a brick wall and you can't get it to move? Step back and say, Lord, am I walking in an attitude of pride? Now, the problem with pride is it's so slippery and subtle and deceptive. But I've learned this about myself. If I'm bitter against somebody, that's pride. If I'm injured and hurt and offended, that's pride. If I'm critical and fault-finding, that's pride. Why is it pride? Because who am I to criticize or judge somebody else? As if somehow I'm not equal, or even in some ways maybe more flawed than they are. You see, this desire in us to control our circumstances, to rule over the ends of our own fate, and maybe even sometimes to control the fate of others, I think is arrogant and it's evil.
Kanye West got up early to host an Easter Sunday service at Coachella yesterday morning.
As you can see, the 2-hour performance was shot with a special lens. Thousands of people attended the highly anticipated musical performance. The service was full of hip-hop songs, gospel hymns, and some of Yeezy's own music.
Today's Sunday service, and it was an instant sellout. It's officially a free event, but scalpers who scooped up the free tickets have been advertising them for up to $500 a piece. ABC's Marcus Moore has more from Houston.
We at war. Kanye West, no stranger to collaborating with a variety of artists.
We at war with ourselves.
And releasing hit after hit from Rihanna and Paul McCartney.
Now I'm 4 or 5 seconds from wildin'.
To Jay-Z. But today, in one of his most spiritual collaborations yet, the rapper, along with his choir, will take the stage with popular preacher and best-selling author Joel Osteen at his Lakewood Church in Houston. West releasing his 9th studio album late last month.
Before my life, I never really kept like God or religion really in mind, but I'm gonna be more open-minded, and I think that's really a key thing about it. Just be more open-minded and keep it in the back of my head while I go through my everyday life.
Jesus, give us wealth. Jesus is our safe. Jesus is our rock. Jesus, give us grace. Jesus, keep us safe.
So this is legitimate?
I believe so, yeah. I believe so.
If not, we praying that it is.
Yeah. God can use anything for his good, you know, so if this is the atmosphere where, you know, some people need to be reached, then God will use it.
But as you go down through history, Dorothy Day or John, I'm sorry, his name just went out of my head, the one who wrote Amazing Grace that saved a wretch like me. The man had been a slave owner and became a great abolitionist. So, I mean, conversions can happen, but they take the right environment, and I hope that he's surrounded with that.
You know, maybe it was you said we can't pick and choose our messengers, but we should endorse the message. And the message here is bringing people to faith who typically wouldn't be drawn to it. And I'm wondering if something was ignited here that goes beyond what we're reporting on here.
Yeah, now the people that he is presenting this message to, especially the prisoners and other young people, the nuns, N-O-N-E-S, who have abandoned faith, really need a solid foundation, not just an emotional experience. They can get that anywhere. But it's amazing to see the response to his album, the 3 million views on YouTube of his interview. So I think this is really worth pondering and considering, and I want to encourage the right elements here and the authenticity of
Taking his Sunday service on the road, including a stop in Queens.
Sunday service, don't get nervous. Rap with the purpose, not just the surface.
Sunday, the crowds flocking to Northerly Island will listen to something that is part musical experience, part religious experience. Rapper Kanye West is bringing his Sunday service series to Chicago. It is complete with a choir and described as Christian-based, including a variety of gospel and hip-hop songs. The service including messages of positivity to Chicago's youth. When I say Sunday services, does hip-hop come to mind?
No, that's a new phenomenon, but I applaud it if it's giving young people hope.
You can add Bishop Larry Trotter of Sweet Holy Spirit and Father Michael Flagler of St. Sabina as in tune with West's message. Flagler saying, quote, anything positive that brings people together in fellowship is a good thing, end quote. Do you think religious leaders might be threatened by this at all?
I think those that are insecure might be. I'm sure there are preachers who feel like, uh-oh, Kanye's in town, so that's going to pull some people from their churches.
West's prior Sunday services are described as not following any specific denomination and rarely including sermons. Bishop Trotter suggesting without a homily or sermon, it's debatable it's a religious service at all.
But I would hope he's not an island that goes from city to city, gather these young people, and give them no direction before they leave.
What if this is all a publicity stunt to sell music?
Then I would be disappointed, because he was strong enough. He is strong enough to promote and carry music without a choir or without a church feel.
Man, I promise, she's so self-conscious. She has no idea what she's doing in college.
Kanye West takes his Sunday service to Coachella. The singer kicked off Sunday's events at week 2 of the music festival in Indio, California, with a religious Easter experience and his famous family in tow.
Say Happy Easter! You look so pretty, guys. Chloe, Smurf.
Wife Kim Kardashian took to her Instagram stories to document the occasion and everyone's color-coordinated outfits.
West, who is performing at Sunday service, matching outfits with mom.
Check out this adorable moment showing daughter North playing with her cousin Penelope Disick.
This is Stormy, True, and Shy in a few years.
As for Kanye's Coachella service, the 2.5-hour-long performance featured a full band and choir wearing matching pink baggy shirts and pants while performing a medley of gospel songs mixed with a few of Kanye's hits like All Falls Down and Power. Kanye spent most of the performance wandering around and occasionally hitting the keyboard, only singing 3 songs in total, including a new song called Water. At one point, cameras even caught the rapper crying. Chance the Rapper made a guest appearance, so did DMX, who delivered a powerful message.
You teach women to honor their men, and men respect their ladies. But lately, so many of us have gone astray, doing wrong for so long that we've forgotten the way.
The service came to an end with Kanye falling to his knees after singing Jesus Walks, seemingly taking a moment to pray.
West releasing his 9th studio album late last month, Jesus is King. The gospel-inspired album debuting at #1 at the top of the Billboard 200. What started as a small gathering between West's family and choir, Sunday service has now grown into a cultural phenomenon. Sunday service now in front of its biggest audience yet at Osteen's church. Preacher's weekly broadcast reaching over 7 million viewers. West opening up in an October interview with Apple Music.
The more that I'm in service to God, I just let God do the driving.
On Friday, West brought his choir into a Houston jail, performing for more than 200 inmates who were clearly moved by the mini concert.
West is known for his rap skills, but now he's dabbling in opera.
Well, he's producing an opera at least. Let's see if he makes a cameo. I don't know if he can hit all those notes. Kanye announced his first ever opera, Nebuchadnezzar, on Twitter this weekend. He posted a photo of the Golden Program featuring the name of the longest reigning Babylonian king. The opera is directed by Italian performance artist Vanessa Beecroft and will take place at the Hollywood Bowl on November 24th. The event will also feature music by Kanye's Sunday service performers, and tickets go on sale today. So if you want to see if he sings some opera music, get those tickets and fly out west.
All right.
Now you have to eat, see the words, man.
The same thing that people are using to say, well, we don't know if he's sincere, is what God is using to be able to save more. That you can see how low I had sunk.
Kanye's faith is why Pastor Joel Osteen invited him to Houston to speak and perform at the biggest church in the country.
But this Christian evangelism, you think is sincere, bottom line, in his case?
Yeah, I think it's sincere, but who questions anyone's motivation? I'm more concerned about the actions that someone takes, not what their motivation is. I mean, there are a lot of people who profess to be Christians, and they're horrible.
No, it's a very smart point.
You know,
and what you care about, I think, is the New Testament says the fruits.
Exactly. Also, I believe if you look in the Bible, Saul was one time an assassin of his own people.
Yes. And
then he had a Damascus experience, and he became Paul. But suppose every time he was speaking, they said, "Oh, I know you used to be Saul."
Yeah.
So we have to accept Kanye as he is. And the very fact that the young people in the inner city who know a phony when they see it are flocking to him because there's such a thirst for a redemptive spirit and a redemptive witness.
An unexpected ministry from a popular face. Days before his anticipated Lakewood Sunday service, music icon Kanye West made a surprise stop Friday at the Harris County Jail with his large choir performing gospel music for male and female inmates. An uplifting performance that brought inmates to their knees and tears. Kanye West sang with inmates, shook their hands, and prayed with them. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says despite the short notice from Kanye's team, this is a powerful performance they wanted to bring behind bars.
You know, any jail can be a very dark place sometimes, literally and figuratively. You know, we have 9,000 inmates. You know, it really was like the worship service, very uplifting.
Guys, this is the first time we're hearing from the actor since that dramatic crash in California. And this morning, he has a message saying he is thankful for his life and for all of those who have helped him get to this point.
No matter how much you think you're in control, you're not in control.
Overnight, Kevin Hart giving the world an inside look into his recovery. Nearly 2 months after his vintage 1970 Plymouth Barracuda careened off a road in the Hollywood Hills and rolled down an embankment with him and 2 others inside. The devastating accident sending him to the hospital with major back injuries, fracturing his spine in 3 places.
Some of the craziest things that happen to you end up being the things that you needed most.
Hart posting a 2-minute documentary-style video on his Instagram, revealing an intimate journey, starting with him in the hospital and later progressing through a grueling rehabilitation.
After my accident, I see things differently. I see life from a whole new perspective. My appreciation for life is through the roof.
The California Highway Patrol determined the cause of the crash was reckless driving. The driver of the car, Jared Black, also sustained back injuries, while Black's fiancée was able to walk away. According to TMZ, Hart has no plans to sue Black and says he has no ill will towards his friend. In the recovery video, the actor expressing gratitude for the encouragement from his fans.
So don't take today for granted, because tomorrow's not promised. More importantly, I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for simply still being here.
Now, the California Highway Patrol ruled that none of the passengers in the car were wearing their seatbelts. Hart's recovery is very remarkable considering the accident happened nearly 2 months ago. But again, another warning to wear those seatbelts to drive safely.
Sir Walter Scott, in a poem that he wrote, this, thought you might want to get into 16th century literature. But he has a classic phrase that in this poem he wrote called Marmion. It's survived long past its literary interest by the rest of humanity because it is such a profound statement when he says, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." His point was that every lie becomes another strand in the web, and eventually the web will entrap us, not those who are trying to entrap.